clear this kitchen. Okay. Are y'all good with me with the bedroom part? Type a yes in the chat box if you are. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All the yeses. Okay, let's move on. Kitchen. Now, kitchen, the usage, the function, the core function. One of it is actually the mother's territory. I think we all know, we've been talking about that since the Qi Feng Shui part. Mother's territory. And at the same time, it's preparing food for family. And when we eat the food, okay, the food will nourish us. That means it's about wellness, health and wellness. And it's also the wealth part, the wealth storage part. Okay, Lin say, Master Yo, I'll be heading to airport shortly, so my response will be intermittent. Okay, noted. Thank you for the heads up, Lin. Okay, so kitchen, the important part here is about the food for family. Not only nourishes us, I mean about our health and relationship. So if the kitchen down, health can also be down. And it's also the wealth storage. So the kitchen is not properly set up, it can also affect your wealth storage. Pepe say, if hubby daughter cooks more than mom, kitchen still applies more to mom. Technically, you will read both. You will have to read both. Yes, it will affect the hubby daughter more, but at the same time, it also will affect the mother more. Okay, but at the same time, do remember about this feng shui rules. Is also about food for family. It's about wellness. It's about wealth storage. Now, does not I talk about your bank account balance? Yesterday, you talk about bank balance account, right? If I ask you to show me, would you openly, happily show me, right? So most people won't. I won't. So therefore, your kitchen is one of the wealth bank account. So I'm really puzzled why nowadays the designer like to design kitchen to be so visible. The moment you step in, you open up your bank account to everyone to see. Okay. On the left side, luckily, it is not in the direct sight where you can see the kitchen, but it's bad enough that the first thing you get to see is still the kitchen. It's bad enough, but at least it's not in the direct sight. The picture on the right is directly. The moment you enter, you're actually entering into the kitchen section. This is bad. Okay, this is really bad, really bad. So the right side picture is bad. The left side is bad, but not as bad as the right side. Pepe is asking, mom won't benefit so much if she let others cook. Something like that. Yes, you can say that too. But it still affects her, but not as much. So open concept kitchen really give me a lot of headache, right? Why I already said that? Because it's harder to accumulate wealth. Harder to accumulate wealth. Okay, and you're opening up your wealth storage, your bank account like nobody business like that. Everybody can see. You spend like anything. Okay, this is an example of stove. Now, stove is the Tai Chi point. Okay, stove is a Tai Chi point. Now, stove here, in this case here, there are two stoves. Okay, there are two stoves. The two in the red box one are stove. Now, tell me, what happens if you have two stoves? Your best guess. What happens if you have two stoves in the same household? Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Pepe. Thank you. Okay. Any more? Any more? Now, this is the worst case lah. Two wife lah. Okay, or another relationship outside lah. But if let's say got no two wife leh, like I say, kitchen represent the mother, okay, the mother. So that means this house probably, if let's say there are two mothers, then these two mother will be like two tigers like that. Darren say, or two CEO to maintain, wife and mother-in-law. Thank you very much. This is the point. If let's say no, doesn't mean two stove means two wife lah. If let's say this man is decent enough, no two wife, then it may mean mother-in-law, and then the man gets sandwiched in between. Okay, Pepe say, how can they stay in the same house harmoniously? Yeah, lor. Like that, most likely will have in-law problem, lor. Or okay, not only in-law, if it's your own mother, it may be issue with your own mother. Okay, may have issue with your own mother, huh? Right? And then especially if there's one big stove, one small stove, 大小眼, right? And then if let's say the stove is facing each other, worse, it's a direct attack, direct confrontation. Also, all these are symbolism that we need to take note of when we talk about kitchen, when we talk about stove. Can so nowadays, in more luxurious property, like condo, bigger condo unit, you have dry kitchen, wet kitchen, and then dry kitchen got stove, wet kitchen also got stove. Not really advisable to have two stove in the same households lah, especially when there are two mothers, or especially when the male is more likely to have the third leg, like what Darren said. Yeah. So therefore, it's best to just cover up one stove. Cover up one stove. Yeah. So like living room, sofa is the 太极 point. Like bedroom, bed is the 太极 point. And for kitchen, stove is the 太极 point. So once you know where the stove is, mount the template, and there you go. You have the back dragon, left dragon, right tiger, and the front phoenix. And then same thing, we would prefer to have dragon crossing the hall vis-a-vis the kitchen entrance. Okay, vis-a-vis the kitchen entrance. Huh? Darren say, Master Yo, as you mentioned, stove facing, do you base on the knob of stove, or do not need? No need to talk about the knob, right? As long as you know how people stand. How people stand. If let's say the stove are facing each other, right? When two-person cooking, right? Their back will be against another back, right? So it's like I cannot see eye to eye one. You get my point? This is another symbolism. That these two-person, these two mother cannot see eye to eye one. So therefore, direct conflict. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Same thing with stove. Prefer dragon crossing the hall. And same with living room and bedroom. The yin yang setup is the same concept. Alan say, if got two kitchen wet and dry but one stove, is it okay? Yes, not a problem. Not a problem. As long as there's only one stove and everybody cooking from that same old stove, can already. Can already. Okay. So therefore, if the stove is a 太极 point, therefore the stove has to be against a solid wall as usual. I don't want to repeat all the good thing and bad thing already. This one is by now should be second nature to you, because it's the same old thing, same old thing. Yeah. Alicia say, Master, now new trend of stove, one induction, one gas stove are separate side by side on the same table top, so that they can have two types of stove to you. Is it okay? No good. Try to, if it's near enough, try to make the space look like it's actually one big stove. I know it's hard, okay? But if it looks like two distinct stove, then it's two distinct stove already. You get my point? So it's how the ID going to make it look like one standalone big stove. Can? So we need solid backing. Now, this is one example whereby they have a what do you call that, an island, and the stove is there, and behind the stove is the dining area. So like the sofa, like the bed, the moment you don't have a good backing, poor vitality, 小人一大堆, no helpful people, wealth reducing. Okay, wealth reducing. Darren say that saying is this 各玩各的 yes 各玩各的 So yeah, it's a new stove. Same thing, right? As long as the way you place it, the manner you place it, it looks like two separate stove. It's a two separate stove. No two way about it. Unless the induction cooker is mobile. Mobile, meaning you use finish, you keep. If no need, don't unnecessarily bring out the induction cooker. Okay, or stove behind is a window. It's the same thing as a bed behind window, sofa behind window. It's the same thing. I won't repeat all the good point, bad points. Okay. Lin say, wow, another popular design these days, stove on island. Yes. Really, really, really nowadays, trending is one thing, but the impact of the trends, you have to decide whether it's okay, not okay. Okay. Another pattern is that you see stove behind is a toilet. So a lot of time we really have to, all the vital space, all the 太极 point in terms of feng shui interior, you really need to do a bit of legwork, really take an effort, go behind and see what's behind the stove, behind the sofa, behind the bed. That's to be sure. In this case, behind is the toilet. Then toilet is where all the waste are going there, the waste energy. Then therefore, and you are standing there to cook for the whole family, sure got family issue. Sure, no, not family issue. Sure got health wellness issue. Okay, Ken? Now, this is an example of stove behind, not toilet this time, but it's staircase. Same old thing. Now, because kitchen, like I say, it relates more to female, mother, female. So who will get it more? Female. Okay, female. So you feel constant migraine, giddy. Why giddy? Because staircase is up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So if staircase can give you the up and down feeling giddy, migraine, then if it's an elevator behind, it's the same effect. Okay, the same effect, right? Spine problem. Why spine problem is because the back got up and down issue. Oh, okay. So again, because there's movement behind the stove, it's harder to accumulate wealth, lesser helpful people, and the luck, the luck is also roller coaster because it's up and down, up and down. Oh, roller coaster. Have you seen people having roller coaster luck? So if staircase can give you the issue, the issue, okay, then private lift will give you the same issue as well. The same issue. I won't repeat the issue. So take extra effort, do some legwork, go behind the stove, see what's behind. Now, what if it's a compressor, aircon compressor behind the stove? Same thing. Migraine, giddy, because it's motorized. It's motorized. Spine problem, harder to accumulate wealth, lesser helpful people, and luck also roller coaster. Alicia say point block has to be careful. Kitchen is next to external lift. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Yes, good point. Very good point. Here, it is something like island, but it's not an island. Okay. But the kitchen behind is an altar. Is an altar. Can or cannot? Okay. No good, From the stove point of view, behind have altar, no good. Okay. From the altar point of view, behind is a stove, also no good. This is a double whammy setup. Double whammy setup. And what might happen? This could give a higher risk of fire outbreak to this house. That means if let's say if the energy comes that there will be a fire outbreak in that area, this unit might get it. Likelihood to get it. Because this layout is a ingredient for fire outbreak. Next, hot temper. Hot temper. Stove, is fire energy. Altar is kind of a qian energy, authority. So it's pretty, plus fire is super hot temper, authoritarian. So hot temper. And who will get it? Mother. And also all other family member could be also because of the altar thing. Okay, so this could be a sign of higher risk of cancer, higher risk of stroke. So this setup is a no, absolute no. Author, we'll talk about it more in the later part next week. Okay, we are done with the back. Now talk about the left dragon. So left dragon, we also prefer to have a dragon crossing the hall vis-a-vis to the kitchen entrance. Okay, so if you have a dragon crossing the hall, then it can have a harmonious family, respectful family members, easier to accumulate wealth, and stronger execution ability. Okay. Lindsay works the same for hawker stores, right? Yes, it should work the same. Yes. Pepe says stove is fire, author is Qian, father and other member can get it. Yes, all can get it. All can get it. Because author affects the entire family. Right? Okay. So in this case here, this is a setup of a stove having a stronger dragon, and it is dragon crossing the hall. So it is good. This layout is okay. Although it's facing the yard, it's still okay. Lin say sign, my stove is tiger crossing the hall. Bo pian. Okay, bo pian. For your side, you cannot practically shift the stove over to the other side of the wall because I believe the other side is the toilet. So no also. So this will be your best layout for you, Lin. Okay. Bedroom cabinet. Okay, okay, good. Can so you can consider if it's not toilet. Okay, so if you want dragon crossing the hall, right? I think one of a good setup is that on the left side of the stove, it's good to have tall cabinets. Okay, tall cabinets. Yeah, on the left side, so that you have a stronger dragon. Stronger dragon. Pepe say kitchen got service yard door, still take only kitchen door to see dragon tiger crossing the hall. Yes, it's the same thing as living room, right? If the crossing halfway got window, how do we consider the window, jump out of the window, or we still take the main door as the reference point? It's the same for this. We can't possibly jump out of the yard window, although you can, but we don't. Okay, so we still use the kitchen entrance. Is that okay, Pepe? Okay, so very simple. For dragon side, best is dragon crossing hall. Best to have tall kitchen cabinet on the dragon side. Best if you could, if the space allow. Okay. Alicia, you're asking this case is tiger crossing which one? The earlier slide or this slide? Earlier is dragon. Earlier is dragon because the dragon is this side, it will go cross the hall and go out. Whereas the tiger take shortcut, go out. Can you follow? Okay. Now when we talk about tiger crossing the hall, this one, this slide, this is tiger crossing. This is tiger crossing. Okay, tiger, right side, go cross the hall, go out. Okay. Now this may have a little bit of dragon crossing the hall also. This looks like dragon also quite long. This layout dragon also quite long. Okay. So there will be a contention. That means equal power. This is an interesting case. There could be an equal power. But dragons still look longer, right? In this case here. Right. But don't forget, this is another example of tiger pressing the wall. So tiger can still be seen as stronger. Darren says, is that a typo error at tiger crossing? This slide, is it? Respected family. Oh, yes. This is a typo error. Not respectful family members. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Darren, for pointing this out. Female more in control. Not respectful. Okay, disrespectful. Please change your slides. And then in-law issues. In-law issues. Thank you, Darren. Okay, let's talk about front phoenix. Now, stove facing the entrance. Some people will say there is a clash, a road clash. Okay. Depending on whether there is an incoming qi or not. When I say incoming qi, basically means, for example, is there a greater force coming in from here? Let's say there's a window and there's no blockage here. There is a window here, and the qi directly comes in like this, and then clash the stove. Yes, then I'll say this is a clash. Or there's a sa qi. Okay. Now, if it's not a clash and the stove is like this, that means directly facing the entrance, then this is a sign of children hardly at home. Children hardly at home. Why I say children hardly at home? Is because in front, right? The front phoenix, right, refers to the junior, to the children, right? And this is the entrance way or the way out to of the unit, right? So therefore, children hardly at home. Symbolism. Okay, symbolism. Huh? How about toilet facing the not wrong? Stove facing the toilet, directly facing the toilet door. Okay, directly facing the toilet door. Then also no. Stove is where you cook food for your family. Is talking about health and wellness, and then you cook right in front of the toilet. No. Okay, so we have digestive problem, female gynae issue, easier to miscarriage, disobedient children also. This is also a case of 水克火 water clash fire. Water being the toilet, fire being the stove. So water clashing the fire. So who will clash you? The children will clash you. Okay, because it's the front of the front is refers to the children. So children will clash you. Disobedient climb over your head Okay, so just be careful about stove facing toilet. If you have no choice, no choice, no choice, you cannot relocate the stove, you cannot relocate the toilet door. At least keep the toilet bowl closed, clean, and close the door. Minimally, you can do this. But at the very first opportunity, break this layout. How about stove facing the fridge? Stove facing the fridge. Fridge we consider as water, right? Because it's cold or ice So if it's directly facing, there is considered a clash too, just like toilet too. But toilet comes about with a health and wellness issue. Fridge, not necessarily health and wellness issue, but it is sending out the cold energy to the stove every time you open the fridge door. So if you're sending a cold energy towards the stove, every time you open the fridge door, it is a clash. It is a water clashing the fire again. And then it's a children, disobedient children. And because it's cold energy, right? The family may not be that close to each other. It's very cold kind of relationship. Is that okay? Ken? All right. How about stove facing the basin? All right, Alicia say real case, fridge facing stove, sudden heart attack, heart bypass surgery. Thank you very much. So it's attacking the fire, the heart. Okay, so thank you very much for sharing this, Alicia. Age 35. Whoa, so young. Okay, how about stove facing basin? Same thing, water facing the fire. So it's water clashing the fire, and water is in front. In front refers to the children, so disobedient children. So no good also. So it's always 泼冷水 pour 冷水 so no good. So try to avoid what do you call that? Stove facing toilet, stove facing basin, stove facing fridge. If no choice, stove has to be no, basin has to be there, stove has to be there, then at least the tap, the faucet uh, move the faucet to face away from the stove. Don't face the stove. Okay, don't face the stove. If face the stove, means this is direct attack, frontal attack. Is that okay? So do what we can to avoid. Alicia say, how about basin facing toilet? Basin facing toilet is okay because we don't take basin as Tai Chi point. We don't take toilet as Tai Chi point. So it's okay. Next. Where's my mouse? All right. How about this in this manner here? In this manner. Now the dragon is protruded out, which is okay, which we like, dragon protruded out, but unfortunately it plays a basin there. Okay, it plays a basin there. So therefore, depending on how it goes, this kind of layout may affect vitality, harder to conceive as well, and potential for marital affairs. Marital affairs. And therefore, the best, usually, if this kind of layout, I would advise the client to say this tab here, this faucet, place it here. Place it here. Don't place in the middle. Don't place on the right side, but place on the left side. Okay. So why left side? Is because once it's mounted on the left side, right? Tendency is they will let me clean the ink away so that I can redraw again. Tap on the left side so that the tap will not be facing the stove. It will be facing away from the stove. Okay, so Alicia is asking why marital affair. Can you remember in the external form feng shui, we talk about the open field on the dragon side or on the tiger side, where you allow a lot of movement. Okay, a lot of movement, right? So this basin on the left dragon side is almost very similar to the open field where you allow a lot of what do you call that, water movement, and this water movement is down the drain. Can you follow? Okay, good. And this says stove facing cut from wall. What is the impact? Injury, and injury to who depending on where it cut lah. Whether it's cut on the left, cut on the right, or cut where lah. Okay, but there's a cut. Okay, look at this. In this case here, stove, or this is very beautiful kind of layout. If let's say qi, I'm assuming qi feng shui is okay. You see here, stove is here. The dragon, very big, long and big, okay, and protruded out, very strong. And then the what call it, the basin is here, further away. All right. So the gap, usually by right, by right, the further you go, the better. Okay, the further you go, the better. Right. The nearer you get them to be close to each other, the same thing. Fire, water will fight. Fire, water will fight. So based on nowadays, the unit getting smaller and smaller. All right. What I've noticed is if it's at least 2 feet away, I think it's pretty safe. I think it's pretty safe. It's not an absolute, right? Because nowadays when people ask you, oh, you can, this is the space I have already. Then how far should I maintain the gap? Just give a figure lah, 2 feet, which based on my practice so far, I think it's pretty safe, right? Alicia is asking, what is the ideal space length between the basin and the stove on the same side? Yeah, this is the example. Okay, 2 feet apart. Okay, 2 feet apart, right? If let's say it cannot be 2 feet apart, it has to be only 1 feet apart. Then maybe put up a what do you call that? Your soy sauce cabinet. Okay, erect one soy sauce cabinet, separate it. Use something physical to separate the basin and the stove. I think look a bit ugly, but no choice. Or no choice, right? Is that okay, Alicia? Does that answer your question? Okay. Another thing is if let's say the qi feng shui, if let's say the basin and the stove is close enough, you can't maintain 2 feet. You have to go lower than 2 feet, and that area is probably something like, for example, what do you call that? Let's say in terms of qi feng shui, let me clean away the ink. Let's say for example, I draw the line like that. This part here is south. This part here is southeast. Not every time you can do this, but then if let's say the qi feng shui allows, stove is at the east, basin is at the southeast, but they are so close together because the ID say no space to pull 2 feet apart, then try to put a plant in between. Put a plant in between. This is tongguan. Tongguan, water to wood, wood to fire, tongguan. So there's no direct clash, but it's actually transferring energy, which is fine. Is that okay? Alicia say, if placing water jar or water dispenser next to stove, is it equivalent to water clash? A little bit, a little bit, because you're dispensing water from there. Okay, so yes, a little bit, but not as bad as a stove and basin lah. Okay, look at this Alicia case. Now this kitchen layout, I think is typical. Typical. I think it's pretty easy to fix where the stove is, but a lot of time I can tell you, HDB BTO kitchen they decide for you where is the stove already. They decide for you based on where the pipe is and the sewage pipe and wherever it is. They already decide where the stove is. But tendency is either most of it let's say this kind of layout if I'm not wrong, the what do you call that? Basin is here, okay, and the stove is somewhere here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alicia. Usually HDB will design in that manner. They decide for you where you should place your basin, where you should place your stove. And you got no choice. And then you have to be so close. And then if I say 2 feet, it can't even give you the 1.5 feet, then bo pian, no? Then you just pray that qi feng shui allows you to place a plant there. Oh, okay, the basin is at the south. Alamak, worse still. Worse still, the basin at the south. Okay, then the stove is at the southeast. Worse still. Oh, you ask them to shift the basin now. Okay, good. At least remove one time bomb lah. Now you have 2 time bomb in the kitchen. Okay, so if you can, you ask them to shift the basin and they are okay to shift the basin and the ID has a better way to shift the basin, then at least we remove one time bomb. Okay, good. So you're doing good. Okay, so for this case here, really, HDB already decided a lot of things for us. Sometimes we have no choice. And ID will give you a lot, 101 excuses to say why they cannot shift. I'm not sure whether Alicia you face the same problem, but they will do that, especially when it comes to aircon. Okay, any question? So once you know one pattern, you know all the pattern. But sometimes because certain pattern we have not seen before, so when it comes to those new pattern, you may be a bit lost. But don't be lost because it's the same old thing. Whatever I say, you just use back the same template, ask yourself those same questions, you have the answers already. Okay. Alicia say ID okay to shift because they renovate entire kitchen. Oh, good. If they renovate, then do whatever that you have learned today in this part here. And don't forget the qi feng shui part if you can. So incorporate both system into one space planning. Ken, any quick questions? Okay, if not with these slides, then it will end today's lesson. We have ended the module 7, the kitchen finally. Right? So if there's any quick question, type in the chat box. If no, then that's it for today. Next Saturday will be last lesson where we'll cover module 5 and module 8 and 9, which is the study room and the author. And of course, if we have time, we'll cover the module 10, which is the troubleshooting part. Okay, any quick question? Maybe say can explain why the marital issue. Alicia asked why but I can't catch it. Which one? Sorry, because I say too many things, I answer too many questions, I suddenly cannot catch. Darren said the sing one. Oh, okay. The sing on the dragon side, Okay, the sing on the dragon side. Okay, if you can remember in the external program I talk about the case of open field on the dragon side or on the tiger side. The open field is like a dragon open mouth or tiger open the mouth. So in the interior, this basin is something like the open field, whereby we let water run away. Okay, so therefore marital issue. So same thing could happen if the L shape is on the tiger side. Same thing could happen if the L shape is on the tiger side. In this case here is the tiger opening the mouth. So can follow here? All right. So before you go, can I ask you to type in the chat box one-liner, quick liner, what have you learned today that you can bring forward in your life? And as you type, that's one last more thing from me. The third lesson, last lesson, will be next Saturday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. We have two more to cover. All right. And so please come in on time so that we can start on time. Yeah. Okay. So one quick lineup and then we can end the day. Yeah. Darren said, the more we learn, the harder to find house. Exactly. And the harder to do space planning also. Everything seems to be wrong, right? That's why life, we got so many problems. Despite that we do the best feng shui, the most expensive feng shui, we still face problem. Alicia said better understanding for stove and the bed placement. Good, thank you. Pepe say imperfectly perfect house in SG. Yes, 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 that's right. Very good in Yang way of saying. Ellen say nice class. We know how to get right. Very good. Fiona say not easy to find an ideal house. Definitely, definitely. That's why house selection is super important. Start on the right footing first. Then the space planning can come in to make it even better. Huh? And they say need good luck to find good house. Yes, you need good luck, but you shouldn't give in to bad luck. Lah. Huh? Shouldn't give in to bad luck. Meaning, the moment you put yourself in a position whereby you are hard pressed for time to get a new house, you are out of the game. You are out of the game. Then you really have to depend on good luck already. Okay, so don't rush when you are looking for a new house. All right. So thank you for your inputs. Thank you. So I'll see you next week. Have a good week ahead. And I'll see you next week. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Bye bye.